Hey, it's your boy, Sergeant Hooked on Henshins. Check out that Digivice V. What? My Digidesktop from Digimon Ghost game? Anyway, I had to get the Digivice V. If you guys are interested in me doing something with it, I can do that. Um, I can definitely do something with that video for it, what have you. Anyway, so today, though, really is our review for Zenkaiger episode 31. So this was the debut of Zemryoku Zenkaio, the full, like, I guess the Ultra Sword combo, if you want to call it that, like the final one of the final Gatais we're gonna get. I'm thinking maybe there's more. I don't know, but overall the episode was really good. Another really strong episode for a lot of different reasons. Zenkaiger is doing a really good job, in my opinion, of at least touching on the main plot every episode, and this one was no slouch in that department for sure. Um, the main plot of it, the monster in it, the world monster, was this like dairy monster world, dairy world monster, and like I think it did. It looked like the one bullfighting monster, which they make reference to. Why don't they just use the bullfighting monster again? It's kind of funny. When it shoots its milk out, which is kind of weird, it hits stuff and it turns it white. But what it does is it also, if it gets on electronics, it erases data, which we'll get to that in a minute. So they're trying to stop the monster throughout the episode. They don't really think it's much of a threat. They're going to try and destroy it right at the beginning until Hakaiser comes in to help. Again, more and more evidence here of Hakaiser acting a lot like Kaito, meaning that he's probably either A, based off the brainwaves of his father, of Isao, or is actually his dad inside the suit, maybe, something like that. I have the, like, cracked theory, if you will, that eventually he'll be turned good and brought back out of being controlled, and his, like, morphed form will be Hakaiser, um, to be along with his son being Zenkaiser and, Two Kaiser and all that, and Stay Sazer. But anyway, so Hakaiser gets involved with it again and again, just more theatrics and more him being Hakaiser and essentially being the Toji Tendo's answer to Kaito. Um, and One of the main big plot things that happen is that Seichan gets hit with the milk and starts to erase the data within Seichan. And before that, he had told everybody he was looking through the blueprints because there was some extra piece of data there about possibly another ability of the Zenryoku Zenkai cannon, which we'll get there. And so they come back to the shop because Yatsude says that something's wrong with Seichan. And you see that his eyes are starting to turn white, and he doesn't know who he is. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? He keeps questioning it. Kaito tries to tell him who he is. Like, who's Kaito? What are Zenkaiger? He like is losing his memory, and finally it completely goes, and he goes completely lifeless. And it's really scary because I mean, yeah, they just need to defeat the world monster, which of course they end up doing. But for a moment, we get to see Kaito really vulnerable and seeing one of his very best friends, even though he's just like a robot bird to anyone else, but one of his very good friends be gone, at least for right now, until they have a chance to defeat the world monster and hope that that works. Um, it's really touching too because the whole team is really upset about it, and Yachan. And Zuran even says to him, hey, and when he extends his arm, I noticed that because Zuran's like older than the rest of the Keikonoids, that it kind of sounded like kind of creaky when he did it. He reached his hand to him. He's like, let's go defeat the monster. And as they're about to do that, Flint comes in out of nowhere and is just like, hey, blah, 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 and like talking about like where the world monster is. She goes, my brother's busy, so I thought I'd track it for you and let you know he's in this location. Like, what's your brother doing? Oh, he's fighting Hakaiser. And he is. He challenged Hakaiser to a fight. And of course, when they corner the Dairy World monster, he calls out for Hakaiser to help him, but he can't because he's being kept busy by Zox, which I think is really funny. Also, Hakaiser can take off his little back thing, little red thing, and it's a boomerang that he can throw around, which is kind of cool. But anyway, so Zox and Hakaiser have a good fight, and it's interesting from that too because I think we're going even more on the whole he's most likely Kaito's dad thing, because at the end of the episode, which we'll get to like what happened in that episode, but there's a little piece with Zox talking about there's something weird. He's like, Flint comes up to him and is like, brother, what's on your mind? He goes, something was odd with that fight at Kaiser. He goes, why? He goes, he reminded me of someone. He's like, who? Kaito. So kind of interesting there. So they fight. They don't really. Nothing really happens except him just again acting more and more like probably most likely Kaito's dad and just Kaito in general. So the rest of the Zenkaigers meet up with Darren World, and they all like it's a really badass like slow motion walk change Zenkai, which is pretty cool. And he goes right into super form, and they use the Zenryoku Zenkai cannon. And they realize that he can he presses like a certain thing on or switch, the little dial thing, and he does Beast Power, and that puts out all Sentai, about a smattering of Sentai heroes, like 4 of them, I think, 4 other ones based off of different animal-based motif Sentai. So I think there was Yo uh, Elephant, whatever his name was, the green Zeoger, um, and I think pretty sure Blue Dolphin was there from Live Man, and 2 other ones I think were for some other Showa era ones. I'm pretty sure. And they fight. So that's really cool. Seeing him using Zamarioku Zenkai cannon. It would have been a bit much for Hakaiser and Stasazer to have an ability where they can summon Sentai to fight. It would have been kind of weird. I would like to see more of Stasazer using his upgraded form and the way he can like pull out the battleized versions of the different Red Rangers and stuff. But you know, that's neither here nor there. Stacy actually mentioned that was pretty funny at one point because Kaiser challenges Zox to or Zox comes down and he challenges Kaiser to a fight, and Stacy says, I'd be pretty careful about him and about the Zenkai. She's like, why? He's like, what do you mean? It's like, I get you're like a protector of worlds, whatever, but they're pretty strong, which I think is kind of cool that although Stacy doesn't necessarily love the Zenkaigers, he still respects them in terms of opponents and how strong they are. So I think that's kind of cool. Again, I do think we're being led on a path of him eventually redeeming and joining them. It'll probably be begrudgingly. There'll probably be some funny episodes where they want him to like do some stuff with them or do a pose, and he's just like, ugh. So really like that. But anyway, they use the finale buster, and this time the other Zenkaigers are behind Kaito holding him. He says, hey, I need you guys to do something this time. Go get behind me, blah, blah, blah. And they try and get in order. And they're all getting each other's way, kind of, and they do the attack together. Of course, they hold him back from getting, because last time he did it, the finale buster with all the logos of the Sentai teams, it's the most Sentai thing ever in the Toei Ocean. You get, banished into the Toei Ocean. It like threw him back really far. So this time they catch him to like put him back down so he doesn't get hurt. But they destroy the world monster, and that reactivates Seichan, who tells them, hey, the Zamarioku Zenkai cannon has a Big Bang function, just like the Geartlingers. Use it and you'll summon your own mecha. So finally, Kaito gets his own mecha, the Zamarioku Zenkai Eagle, which looks to be based off of kind of Varadine, Varadine, and just other, bird plane mecha, basically. So it comes through, it's fighting on its own, shooting stuff, shooting lasers and missiles and whatever. And then he finds out that it has a connection where it can combine with the other Zenkaigers. One little thing I thought about, I will hope it's touched on, and maybe it won't be, and that's okay. I will hope it's touched on, for one, if Kaito's parents intended humans to use the Geartlingers and transform, which is weird because with that Zenkai Red special, they couldn't when they were human. And for two, how they knew that those specific Kikainoids were going to be the ones that would get the Geartlingers. Or if that's ever going to be explained, or maybe it has been. Maybe I'm stupid and I said it at some point in some episode. I don't know. But I would like there to be something there. Maybe, like, I don't know if they need to reveal that they're the ones that built the other Kikanoids, on the team. But just some kind of an informational thing where they kind of tell why it happened the way it did and why they chose those forms, other than being huge Sentai geeks like they are, clearly. But anyway, so we get the Zamarioku Zenkaio formation, finally. So it's got Zenkai Eagle in the middle, and then it's got, I believe, Jiran and Gawan are feet, I'm pretty sure. Or are they arms? And then Vru and Majin, yeah. And it's got like part of her wings on it and everything. It's got her staff combined with Jiran's sword as like its main attack it can do. And it does its final attack. And instead of summoning all of the logos like the Buster Cannon does, it does an attack where it summons basically a version of each, like a representative mecha of each season, and just throws them one after another at the world at the Kudai test version. But then we also get, because they destroy the world monster, and then without his final attack, and then Ichirud reveals his plan because earlier in the episode, Bokawa said that he was really upset with Ichirud and he was going to be a failure and blah, blah, blah. He's like pounding a bunch of the table, like a bunch to the ground and making Ichirud fly up in the air. He mentioned to Bokawa that he had a plan. He had been developing some new technology. So he brings up the new Neo Kudai tests, which are much bigger than the originals. And that's what they end up fighting. I forget, there's 2 stages to the fight. That's where they end up having the full Zamarioku Zenkaio fight with the Mecha Buster finale attack thing. and it's really cool. Again, I really like it. It is all CG, which isn't everybody's cup of tea. CG cup of tea. Well, um, I don't mind it. I think it looks pretty decent. I'm not think it doesn't blow my mind, but I'm not trying to have that happen. Like that's not what I think their aim is. It's just probably tough to build a feasible suit, physical suit to wear for a fight like that. Maybe not. Maybe there will be. I don't know. But I really like Zenryoku Zenkaiger. I think it's a really cool mecha combination, and I like how everything has to do with the Buster, with the cannon itself, or the mecha has to do with all Sentai all at once. I love that. So cool. Um, they also showed that when you dial on the chest has the little dial thing from the cannon. When you dial certain like beast power, or dinosaur power, or whatever, it makes an attack based on that. So we saw, I think, Geron's, and I think we saw uh, the Majin one, and I think Vroom's as well, maybe? I can't remember. We didn't see the Beast one because they already used that on the ground. For some reason, they didn't use it when they were the mecha. Um, and it's really cool because the cockpit has like a gear representing each Vroon, Majin, Jiran, and Gawan, and they look like paintings in it. It's kind of cool. It's a really cool setup. I really like it. It's very well designed and well put together, and it's very like pleasing aesthetically, honestly. So they end up destroying the new Kunai House, of course, and they get back to the shop and they're saying to Sei-Chen, we're really thankful to have you. He's like, oh, it was all you guys. They're like, no, like we really understand, like you're a part of this team. We appreciate you, and it's really really sweet. And it's just I just love this show and how much of like a big sappy dumb family they are, and how much they love each other, and just in general how awesome the whole show is and how the character interactions are. Um, yeah, so I would probably give this one, honestly, probably a 10 out of 10. I think I might have given last week's that one too, but I just love this being like one of the final things they get, that now Kaito has his own weapon, and his weapon represents all of Sentai, as does his mecha represent all mecha from Sentai. So it's a clusterfuck, but I love it. But overall, I love the episode. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Did you guys love the episode? Were you not a fan of the CG? Did you guys you have any other theories of what you think is going to happen with Kaiser? Is he Kaito's dad? Is he not? With Stacy? With the mom we haven't seen in like 4 episodes now? Kind of getting like Sophia and Saber, honestly. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. As always, thank you guys for subscribing, for commenting, watching the videos, all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys so much. And until next time, stay hooked on Henshins. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.